Welcome back to Briggs on Books, a truly international talk show on books and authors. We've been talking to people just today, one from England and one from Wisconsin. No, Wyoming, the least populated state in the nation. So now we're going to go further away, all the way back to Fresno, California with a guest, a local guest, an author, Cindy Prieto. Now you're an author, you're also an illustrator.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about a book you illustrated. That's a kid's book, right? We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But first I want to get to your first book. Tell me about it a little bit. Welcome, by the way. I'm supposed to say that first.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you. My first book was Margaret Ann's Adventures in the Afterlife. Margaret Ann is a middle school girl who finds herself in a box, and she realizes she must be kidnapped, and she's pounding, but it's her grandfather who has passed who comes to take her out. She realizes she's dead.
Is it scary?
There is
Or is it meant to be scary?
It's not meant to be scary. I think it provokes thought and, possibilities.
Okay. And who's the book for?
Fifth grade on up. I've had a number of adults buy it.
Yeah.
And they are between the lines. Yeah, I get this.
Yeah.
I get this.
My kids never read their school books, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I read them all. I loved them.
Oh, I know.
I love that level of book. So it's a thought-provoking book. It's introducing a subject that kids are going to face someday.
Someday, we all have friends who've passed and unexpectedly. Thought-provoking.
Is anything you could tell us about the story or how it turns out? We don't want any spoilers.
So Margaret Ann finds herself at the cemetery, and her grandfather, who's already passed, leads her through, and he realizes she needs friends, and he will go and find friends for her. They go to the lake. There's a pond there. Whatever takes place there, the living don't see this. And he takes her to the lake, and children are playing. They're playing volleyball in the water. They play kickball. They play all sorts of games.
Doing things kids would do.
Absolutely. And she meets a little girl who is from the Depression era, and she meets a boy a little bit older than her who's just recently died. And,
Does she get to help somebody?
They will help a lot of people. They're going to be encountering grave robbers. They're going to deal with the head of the grave robbers, who is the mortician, and they're going to deal with a character called the Gazer. And he is a person who steals their essence because they're living at this time just in a different plane.
Just in a different plane. Sounds scary to me. Intense. Unexpected things are going to happen.
Yes.
Now here's the cover, and where can they get this book?
Well, you can get it on Amazon. Yeah, you can get it at downtown Clovis at the Book Barn.
Book Barn, that's right.
Yeah.
I love the Book Barn.
Or if you see me around, I always have these books in my car.
I always have them.
Or they can, send me a text at cindyprieto13 at hotmail.com, and if it's postage that needs to be sent out, I'll add that in. If it's a book around here, I'll deliver it to them signed.
That's not signed. I like that.
Yes.
By the way, we put the email on the screen, cindyprieto13 at hotmail.com. Also, I went to Facebook and just typed Cindy Prieto, and you popped right up.
Good.
So you can find Cindy on Facebook as well. Now, we're going to talk about one more book in a minute. I'm real excited about this. But if you got a teenager or someone coming up to, what are 5th graders, or 10, 11 years old?
Right.
Yeah. Buy this book. You have Christmases, you have birthdays.
Absolutely.
And your kids are going to be going to birthday parties and stuff. Buy a stack of these books and be ready to give them out. That's the way to do it.
It's only $10.
$10, yeah. So
beat the price.
I started every Christmas. I started a tradition. Our very large family, you got to buy 20 or 30 Christmas presents. We get books now. We read the books we read, we give it out, and then we also buy some books for the age-appropriate things.
What a wonderful idea!
Great thing for Christmas, because you can buy a toy and it's just gone, and
gone.
Nobody remembers it. But they remember that book forever,
right?
And they'll have it in 5 or 10 years.
Yes.
So buy it for your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, your own kids. Get this book by Cindy Prieto. I'm going to put the cover up one last time before we move to the next. Say the title again.
Margaret Ann's Adventures in the Afterlife.
In the Afterlife. Fascinating. And see if I get back to us now. Where did we go? Cindy has a way of disappearing from the screen sometimes. So
Yep.
now let's talk about. I'm going to put the cover up. This new book, which you wrote and
Illustrated.
both. Tell us about it.
Well, with Margaret Ann, I had a reason for writing that book. I had passed the cemetery so many times on Herndon Avenue, and I thought it was beautiful, a lovely place. With the Piglets, it just came to me that they would be characters who had fun, and they do. What happens here is they have a duckling hatch in a hay bale, and as soon as he comes out, he rushes to Mama Pig and hugs her for a sweet nuzzle. And the kids say, "Who is that? He looks funny." He says, "We're going to call him Johnny. He needs a family."
Okay.
And he teaches them eventually how to fly. Piglets fly.
Who's this book for?
You know what? A preschool, kindergarten, first grade. It's an easy read. It's easy for me to read to a child, for a child to read for himself. We have neighbors across the street whose mother is a kindergarten teacher, and she picked the book up the other day, and she was so delighted with it that she was calling all of her kindergarten teacher friends and sharing the book with them, that they had to buy it. I was delighted.
Yeah, the illustrations are something too, and you did all those.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
I can't imagine. That's a lot of work just doing those illustrations. There's so many.
There are many, and they don't always work. So you have another go at it, see how it turns out.
I tell you, I grew up in Clovis, went to Clovis schools, went to Cole School, kindergarten. When I got there, Cole School in Clovis, I'm giving a shout out. When I got there, I could read. And that's because my mom had these books she would read to us every day from very young. And pretty soon we had the books memorized. So we'd pick them up and we'd read them and say the words.
Mom.
Yeah, we'd read to Mom. And I don't know if we were actually reading the words, but it just helped us get there, helped us get ready.
Absolutely.
You go to baby showers, you go to kids' birthdays, go to Christmas. This is what you do.
That's
the
what
thing
you do.
Give books now.
Exactly.
Give local books too. I know we're an international show now, and these books would go all over the world. They're not just for
that'd be
for
amazing.
local people. We have viewers all over the world now. Where do you get these books?
This one is published by Halo Publishing.
Okay.
You can get it through Amazon, but Halo Publishing as well.
Okay.
And once again, if you want it signed by me, get a hold of my Facebook page. Leave me a message there if you'd like. We'll take care of it.
The other series is also on Amazon?
Yes.
The
Margaret Ann's Adventure.
Margaret Ann series is on Amazon. We want people to shop local, but more of our viewers are not local anymore. They're all over the world now. So when we start getting sales from Amazon England, you know where it came from.
This was published, Margaret Ann was published in Clovis, HBE Publishing, and this one was published with Halo Publishing. So
Halo Publishing, okay.
Yeah, Halo. Yep.
Halo, easy enough. There's the first one, Margaret Ann series. Now, I want to ask you about this. It sounds like a series. It says Cemetery Series, doesn't it?
Yes, right. I have the...
What's happening there? It's going to...
the next one, boy, it changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Margaret Ann begins to generate more essence, more power for herself.
Wow.
And it's not anything she's trying to do. It's just who she is.
And when's that book coming out?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe in about a year.
But it's here.
It's almost finished, yes. But, there's editing that has to be
Yeah.
done. You just don't write a story. It has to be gone
Yeah,
through.
I can't imagine how much work it is to write a book. And how, I always say, how do you put your pen down and say, it's done?
Never.
But then you have to send it out, have readers,
Right,
editors,
exactly.
figure out how to get it published, formatted for publishing.
And my golden words,
Yeah.
it has to be right for everybody.
More of our viewers are writing books than have finished writing books. So that's why I like to bring an example in. Anybody could write a book, but Cindy Prieto can finish writing a book. Put
Yes.
the pen down, get it to the publisher, get it through all the steps. And I'm inspired by that.
Thank you.
Last thoughts for our viewers?
I hope to hear from you through Facebook.
Yeah, go to Facebook. Email her direct, cindyprieto13@hotmail.com. She's easy for me to find. She's in my Facebook friends, so if you type Cindy Prieto and 1,000 come up, go to my Facebook and you will find her on there. Thank you, Cindy, for coming in.
Thank you.
Again, I'm inspired by your work, and I can't wait for the next book to come out in this series.
Thank you.
We will be back. I'm going to leave this cover up right here as we go to a break, and we'll be right back with more after this. More Breaks on Books.